I would ask the honourable member to consider listening to the voices of sex workers. Sex workers are saying that sex work is work. And I also ask the honourable member if he considers the Harper government's decision to implement Bill 36, which criminalized the work environments, the establishments that sex workers go to feel safe, that criminalized their ability to hire security. If he acknowledges that this is a factor in this death and many others.
Member for Peace River Westlock.
I would just respond to that by asking the honourable member across the way if it's a area of work that she has considered, and if that is an appropriate. Mr. Speaker, I think this makes the point. I do not think any woman in this country ever chooses this as a job. This is something that they are trafficked into. This is something that we have to work hard to end in Canada. Prostitution in Canada is inherently dangerous, and is something that we must work hard to ensure that all Canadians have a safe place to live in this country, and we do not want to see our women and girls forced into prostitution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments? The honourable member for St. John's East on a point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I listened to the honourable member's response to my colleague's question, and he made a very unparliamentary remark, I believe, that he seems to be suggesting that the honourable member asked this question because she had a particular interest in a certain line of work. And I think that that's insulting and unparliamentary, notwithstanding the fact that the honourable member recognised that the sex workers who are in great danger in this country are in fact workers.
The honourable member for Peace River Westlock wish to weigh in or respond, make comment on this point of order? The honourable member.
Mr. Speaker, I in no way mean to have any effect on the reputation of the honourable member in question. What I do want to say is the very fact that I must tread delicately on this makes my point, I think, about the nature of prostitution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I see the Honourable Minister for Diversity, Inclusion and Youth on the same point of order, or is it on questions and comments? Not questions and comments. Before we continue with questions and comments, just then on the point of order, this is the second point of order we have had on this particular debate today on the opposition motion, and I think members will appreciate the topic that's before the House brings great import and sensitivity. I would certainly encourage honourable members to be conscious of their comments in this regard. I noted in this last point of order, the last intervention on this, essentially framing the comments that were heard as unparliamentary, that in this particular case, it did create some disorder. That's usually a test around which chair occupants enumerate whether in fact there has been unparliamentary language used in the House. So just an encouragement at this point to honourable members to take care in how these arguments are framed. Provoking disorder in the House is certainly not something that the standing orders permit, and so I'd urge that going forward in this debate.